What is polyamory, and how does polyamory even work? I'm Amanda Pasciucco. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, a certified sex therapist, and I'm here today to talk about polyamory. Stay tuned until the end of the video so you can get our Stop Arguing and Start Communicating guide as a thank you just for watching. Hit subscribe and the bell. I release a new video Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we're going to be discussing polyamory and the questions that you ought to consider if you are thinking about getting into this type of relationship. So let's jump right in. What is polyamory? Let's say that this is a couple and they are together in a monogamous relationship where they are each other's partner. Now, say they decide that they want to become polyamorous. That means poly, multiple, amor, love, multiple loving relationships. So they can choose to date together and find a triad, or they can choose to date multiple ways. Let's start with the triad though. In this case, they are going to go out and date. These two have a relationship, these two will have a relationship, and then these two will have a relationship. All three also have a relationship. A triad means that there are different dyads and one larger group of three. Everyone is in a loving and or sexual relationship with one another. There is also a situation where, say this was a couple, and this partner comes in. Say the green and purple are not interested in one another, but they each are starting to have a relationship with the pink color. In this scenario, that would be called a V because each of them has a relationship with one partner. So that would make green and purple metamors. They're sharing one love. The pink person would be the hinge or the V and the connection between these parts. Another most common would be that this couple goes out and dates separately. So this person would find this person, and then this person would find this person, and now we have different relationships forming. Say they're doing kitchen table polyamory, well, all of them would come together and they would have family time as a group sometimes, but then they would have private time as well. If they're doing parallel polyamory, then orange and green don't have much to talk about, and pink and purple don't have much to talk about, but pink and green are together as partners. Orange and purple have nothing really in common other than that if we're talking about sexually transmitted infections or STIs, we want to be mindful of who's having sexual relationships with whom so that we know who's fluid bonded, who are the parents in case someone gets pregnant. Let's also go back to this couple and say they were going to do something like meet another couple and be in a quad. This isn't common, but people do it. People raise children in quads as well. So that's a quick version of some polyamorous open relationship styles. Have you ever tried polyamory? Please comment below, we'd love to know. Here are some questions that I think you ought to consider if you're going into polyamory as a solo person or in a pair. If you're going out into the dating world as a polyamorous person, what I believe is important to ask someone that you're dating is the amount of time that they have available to you. If everything is perfect in their life and everything is perfect in your life, what is the most amount of time that you could spend together? And what does that time look like? Is it going to be a certain day of the week, one time a month? What is it going to consist of? And the days where you're not seeing each other, it's important to ask how much communication will you have? Because if there are other partners to consider, then sometimes your partner will be out of touch from you because they're with someone else. So it's important to know the agreements between Facebook Messenger, texting, and communication outside of when you're just with one another. Another thing to be mindful of is the person that you're with. What are the ways in which they like to get their needs met? So their needs of certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection, growth, and contribution. Are they a cuddler? Are they someone who likes to volunteer? Are they someone who's adventurous, someone who's kinky? What are the qualities that they have, and are you guys suited? What are the ways in which you are allowed to touch that's okay intimately? Can you touch one another in front of other partners? Or is there a different way you act when you're all together? It really makes sense to have a Google Calendar when you're in this type of situation. Each person brings exponentially more complications and different things to think about, and you grow that way. You learn to slow down and attune to yourself. You learn to take care of yourself. Another point that I would want to consider is asking the person how they are at knowing you will be with someone else away from them in a loving and sexual manner. So, do they want to don't ask, don't tell, they don't hear anything? That's not polyamory, that's a different thing. In a polyamorous relationship, there are agreements and requests that are made so that each person can collaborate in the best way to get their needs met. Also, a few other things to consider. Pregnancy, what does that mean? Also, finances, who's going to pay for dates? Where are the dates going to be? Who's going to be driving where? Are you allowed in someone's home? Are you allowed in another person's car? All of these things are micro adjustments that you'll make are important, just as important as the sexual conversations about STIs. Also talking about, are dates allowed to happen overnight? Are vacations allowed to happen with another person? What about the holidays and birthdays? Who do you spend time with? Now, is it a hierarchical relationship, or are you trying to make everyone have the same amount of time, and therefore each person will have certain things that are special, but it's an equitable relationship where no one feels secondary? These are all things to consider in polyamory. It's not just about open sex, it's about open love, communication, and having multiple relationship dynamics where you take impact and others into consideration. So thanks for staying until the end. Scroll down, get our Stop Arguing and Start Communicating e-guide. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, and the bell. I release a new video Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Say hi on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at The Sex Healer. I am in a private practice called Life Coaching and Therapy, and we hope to hear from you in the comments or with your questions. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day.